You left, or you tried to. You made the decision, maybe 100 times. You cried about it and told yourself this was it, and then you went back. You have spent more time than you will ever admit asking yourself why. Why, in a toxic relationship, does the leaving feel impossible? Why does going back feel like the only relief your body knows? The answer is not about love. It is about your brain and what it was chemically trained to need. When you're in a toxic relationship, your brain does not process it as a bad experience. It processes it as an unpredictable one. And unpredictability, to your nervous system, is not a warning. It is a drug. Here's what happened inside you every time the cycle runs. They hurt you, and your brain registers threat as cortisol spikes, and your nervous system braces. Then they come back with warmth, and in that moment of relief, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical triggered by cocaine, the same pathway, the same neurosignature. Now, here's the part nobody explains when they ask, why do I keep going back to a toxic relationship? When you leave, you don't just lose the person. Your brain loses the dopamine source it was built around. What you feel in the days after leaving is not grief, it is withdrawal. Clinically, chemically, neurologically, it is the same process as coming off a substance. The restlessness, the inability to focus, and the specific pull back toward the thing you know is harming you. That pull is not weakness. That is your brain doing exactly what brains do when a dopamine source is removed, seeking it. This is the part that will change how you see everything. A relationship where someone is consistently kind to you does not produce the same level of dopamine as a relationship where kindness is unpredictable. Read that again in your mind. Consistent love, warm, present, and reliable, actually produces less neurological urgency than intermittent pain followed by warmth. This is called intermittent reinforcement, and psychologists rank it as the most powerful behavioral conditioning ever identified in human beings. It is the same mechanism behind slot machines. Pull the lever, sometimes nothing, sometimes a reward. And the sometimes is what makes it impossible to stop. Your nervous system was not designed to walk away from a slot machine while it is still occasionally paying out. It was designed to keep pulling. And every time they came back with warmth, every time they were kind after the coldness, the machine paid out. The bond that formed in those moments is neurologically stronger, not weaker, than the bond formed by consistent love. You were not attached to the relationship. You were attached to the relief. So here is what I need you to understand before you leave this video. The reason you keep going back to a toxic relationship is not a character flaw. It is not immaturity, it is not stupidity, and it is not love in the way most people use that word. It is a brain that was systematically conditioned to associate one specific person with its only known source of chemical relief. No amount of willpower overrides neurochemistry, which is why leaving without understanding the mechanism almost never works long-term. You return, not because you are failing, but because your brain is functioning exactly as it was trained to. There is one method, one specific documented approach, that interrupts the dopamine cycle without requiring you to simply be stronger than your own neurology. It works by removing the variable reward, the intermittent warmth that the brain keeps seeking without confrontation, without explanation, and without giving the cycle anything left to feed on. That is the next video. Subscribe, because understanding why you go back is the first step. What you do with that understanding is everything.